With so much excitement building around the Raiders and their inaugural season in Las Vegas, the fans want to be heard. The launch of Vegas Nation Fan Zone is their answer. That's right, Raiders fans can sound off on all things Raiders, from players to coaches to even the new Allegiant Stadium. Vegas Nation Fan Zone is accessible 24/7 and allows fans to generate and upload their own posts for lively interaction. Simply go to fanzone.vegasnation.com to sign up today.
What is up, everyone? Adam Hill here with your Vegas Nation Fan Zone. I'm here in the Raiders facility. Kind of found myself in a back room here. So, got a bunch of questions that came in. If you have any more, you can send them in through the Fan Zone or go ahead and hit me up on Twitter as well, Adam Hill LVRJ. I got the questions streaming down here below. Sorry for looking down as we're doing this, but hope you guys are having a great day. The Raiders are actually in the middle of practice right now. We're out on the field for the warm up period. That's really all we're allowed to watch out on the field. And so they're going through their practice, getting ready for Sunday in LA. Actually, was going to talk about that trip to LA to see SoFi Stadium, but I see we have a question about that, so I'll get into that in a minute. Let's just jump right into it as we are trying to get the Raiders prepared, as I said, for Sunday against the Chargers, big rivalry spot in the AFC West. So let's start with any word on Incognito and Edwards' recovery. This is from a Twitter user. I can't see your handle here. Sorry. Any word on Incognito and Edwards' recovery? I know the team tends to be tight-lipped. Yeah, they are always very tight-lipped about injury situations for sure. But I will tell you this: Bryan Edwards was practicing last week. He just wasn't ready to play. This week he's been practicing at a much higher level, really going all out this week, and I do expect him to be able to play on Sunday in Los Angeles against the Chargers. So I do expect the Bryan Edwards return for Sunday's game. Incognito, no, he is not back off IR yet, not practicing yet. So it's going to be a little bit of time, and that offensive line is going to need him back soon. We know Trent Brown is back on the COVID list, which we'll get into. Also, Colton Miller has not practiced all week. Now he will see if he's able to play. We know that he's practiced. He's missed practice for a full week before and still played on Sunday, but we'll see if he's able to go on Sunday. How is David Irving looking? Could he play this week? That is from at LV Eddie G up on Twitter. Good question. As I referenced, we don't really get to watch them practice, just get to see them kind of out on the field. I know they're being cautious with Irving. It was interesting that he was activated to the active roster. Then he was on the active roster, then he was inactive for the game. I think there was some questions up front about whether Malik Collins would be able to go. And a couple other guys that were kind of questionable there. So I think they just brought him up just in case. Then he was inactive. I know they're excited about his talent. Certainly he's a guy who has played at a very high level, very talented player, but they are a little bit concerned about the fact that he hasn't played in a long time, trying to get his conditioning up to, game shape. I think there's just a process that they're going through, and they really just brought him in to see where he was. I know Rod Marinelli was very high on him. The defensive line coach expected quite a bit. He's worked with him before and knows that he's very talented. So I think that they just want to find out, and it's going to take a little bit of time. I think, could he play? Sure, but I think he's the guy that's just here to see, late in the season, see where he's at. Maybe if you do make a playoff push, he's a guy that could add a little bit of something, a little dimension to that defensive front. But right now, I think they're being a little bit cautious with him. Doesn't mean he's not going to play. He could, but I think they are taking a cautious approach with him. At Jack Nappers, why is it taking so long for Nevada to count votes? I'll hang up and listen. Thanks. Good question. Probably not my area of expertise. I wish it was. Kind of as an amateur political scientist, yes, but no, as a on a professional level, no. But they're not taking that long. They're just counting the votes. They're getting it right, not getting it first. That's the motto here. So don't take it easy on us. But I will say, you guys, all you guys on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram with all the Nevada jokes, it's good. They're good. It's I love my state, I love my city, but they are still very, very funny. Why aren't the Raiders crushing the virus? Well, how long do you have? Um, Listen, it's a huge adjustment that teams have to make. We understand that. This is something totally new to everybody, and I know it's annoying to go through all the protocols to try to deal with wearing a tracker all the time and wearing masks and all the other things that have to be done. And so I want to excuse the Raiders a little bit, but at the same time, like all the other teams in the league seem to be doing okay with it. You're having issues here and there. There's positive tests all over the league right now, but we see that when there's positive tests, they've been distanced, they've been wearing their trackers. It's easy to figure out who they're around. And they don't have the same problem the Raiders do when Trent Brown wasn't apparently wearing his tracker all the time, and then it became tough to track everything. Those are the things. So, like, somebody getting the virus is going to happen. Like, those things are just going to happen. It's how do you deal with it, and how have you been dealing with it so that it doesn't affect the whole team? And we saw with Trent Brown, it did affect a great deal of the team. And now we are still trying to wait for some word exactly on what Trent Brown's going through, but he's back on the COVID list now after coming off of it. It's been a little bit of a mess, certainly for the Raiders. Now they're up to over $1,200,000 in fines, combined with losing a draft pick in the 6th round. It's just a really, really tough spot for the Raiders to be in right now with all the things that are stacking up against them. But again, I'm sure it's annoying. I would not want to be playing and having to go through all these protocols and worrying about trying to play NFL games, but it's what you got to do. It's do you want a season or not? And everybody that is here signed up for it. You could have opted out. They decided to play. You got to follow the protocols. And again, while I want to look at this and say, hey, listen, it's tough to follow all these things, the other teams seem to be doing an okay job, with the exception of maybe like Tennessee. But the Raiders have to do a better job. They've talked so much about crushing the virus, hashtag crush the virus, the shirts, everything else. You got to actually put it into practice. Can't just make it a slogan. Sorry, computer went out here for a second. Is it too soon to talk about playoff chances? I know you guys are excited about that. I would say it's never too soon. As a fan, you should be talking about playoff chances week 1, week 2. Like, let's go. That's what you're in it for. I know nobody around here is. Because I think that they're just focused on every game. You're focused right now on beating the Chargers and crushing the virus. But yeah, it's there for the taking for the Raiders. Before the season, if you were going to break down the year, you would look at it and say, first half of the season is brutal. The schedule's awful, maybe one of the toughest schedules in the entire league. And can you get through that? Can you survive it? Can you not go 2-6 in the first half of the year and play your way out of the playoffs? They didn't. They're already 4-3. They have a chance to go 5-3 in the first half. The second half schedule is much, much lighter. One of the easier schedules in the entire league. So I know nobody wants to talk about it. You wouldn't say the P word around here in the facility, but yeah, I think that it's a very real possibility, and it's one that should be looked at, especially with the expanded playoffs. And then the NFL the other day kind of came out and made it known that there's a possibility to expand the playoffs even more if they have to cancel some games and maybe allow 8 teams from each conference in. So with that extra wild card, I think the Raiders absolutely should be talking playoffs, and the fans can be discussing their chances for sure. What do you look most forward to seeing at SoFi Stadium? Well, first, man, the drive is just wonderful, isn't it? I think 2 weeks ago I went down there for UNLV and San Diego State, down to Carson, and I think it had to be like the drive. It's had to be like in the 150s of times made the drive. Isn't it just wonderful? Zizix Road and Barstow and Baker. Oh, what a trip! So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, the stadium looks incredible. I genuinely can't wait to see it. Obviously, been in Allegiant about 6 or 7 times now. That's a very, very cool stadium. I can't wait to see what it looks like with fans. But SoFi just looks incredible. I've talked to a couple people that have covered games there. Just the sheer amount of money they put into the place. People I've seen people say, well, why can't Allegiant, be as cool looking as SoFi? First of all, I think it's pretty cool looking, but second of all, it's 3 times the cost. And when you do that, not necessarily more expensive is better, but there's a lot more that can go into it. And I just think the place looks unbelievable. I'm very much want to see everything around there and what they've done, even with the area down there around the Forum, where the stadium is built. Should be very, very cool on Sunday to check that out. Is that the real defense everyone saw at Cleveland? Short answer, no. Um, Listen, there's a lot of problems on the defense, and I think that what last week did was gave them some confidence for sure. You can go out and hold the team to 6 points, not let them score a touchdown. Um, Very, very good. But Derek Carr talked about it this week. He just said, "Listen, it was a crapshoot out there. Anything over 10 yards, you didn't know where it was going. You really couldn't throw it all. You really couldn't fool anybody with the play action because everybody knew you wanted to run every down. Um, it was kind of a mess out there. The grapple, we talked about that, the weather conditions out there, the cold, the wind, everything that was going on. So yeah, I think the defense gets some confidence from what they did last week. But I don't think you can just say like, "Hey, look, this defense is good." You're not going to have the benefit of playing in that kind of conditions all the time. So let's see what you can do now against an explosive Chargers offense and in perfect conditions inside at SoFi Stadium. That will be the true test. But they did make a couple of adjustments. Getting Jonathan Abram closer to the line of scrimmage, getting him involved as a pass rusher, which also helped him get involved in the run game at the line. There was a lot that they did that I liked. Let's just see if they can carry that over into not crazy conditions. A couple more questions, but I'll just do this one last one to wrap things up here. Is Josh Jacobs back? Yeah, I mean, literally and figuratively, he looks like he's healthy. He missed a day of practice. He's back today. Uh, but figuratively, is he back? Yeah, he had a big game last week. I think there's some offensive line issues. We know Colton Miller missed practice. Trent Brown's on COVID. Richie Incognito still out, but they've been able to patchwork things together a little bit, and they looked pretty good last week. When the Browns knew they were going to run the ball, they were still able to. And Josh Jacobs looked healthy and explosive. He was down around 3.4 yards a carry last week. 31 carries. The team had over 200 yards on the ground. I would say that he's going to use that momentum going forward and continue as the Josh Jacobs everybody expects to see. He's always banged up, always hurt, but um, you know he always plays through it too. So I think that's what the fans love about Josh Jacobs. That's what the team loves about Josh Jacobs. He runs so hard and he's always going to be kind of banged up, but always gets the job done. And we saw that last week. I think he continues to do that this week. Well, that'll do it for us. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for the questions for sure. Always a pleasure interacting with you guys and getting to know what you want to know. I like to see what you guys are interested in and helps shape our coverage as well. So appreciate you guys watching. Look forward to the trip down to LA. We'll let you know everything you need to know about SoFi Stadium and the Chargers. Check out Vegas Nation, get the app as well. And that'll do it for us. We'll see you again next week. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the weekend.